The moment she handed her lunch to a hungry stranger sitting outside the cafe, without knowing anyone was watching, everything changed. From across the street, a man froze in place. He wasn't just any man. He was one of the youngest millionaire CEOs in the city. And the two little girls standing beside him, holding his hands tightly, were about to witness something that would change all of their lives forever. Before we begin, if you believe kindness still exists in this world and that everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone you care about, and subscribe to Lifeline Corner for more heart-touching stories that restore faith in humanity. The bright morning sun illuminated the busy streets of Cedar Ridge as people hurried toward offices, shops, and restaurants. Cars moved steadily through the city while the sounds of everyday life echoed through the downtown district. Among the crowd walked a man named Grayson Hale. At 38 years old, Grayson was the founder and CEO of a successful technology company worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Newspapers often called him a business genius. Financial magazines admired his leadership. Investors trusted his decisions. But none of those things mattered to him as much as the two little girls walking beside him. His 7-year-old twin daughters, Avery and Alara, were the center of his world. 3 years earlier, Grayson had lost his wife, Serena, after a sudden illness. The tragedy had shattered their family. Since then, Grayson had devoted every spare moment to raising his daughters. The girls were happy, intelligent, and loving. Yet as the years passed, they often asked a question he struggled to answer. Why didn't they have a mother like the other children? Friends and family constantly encouraged him to start dating again. At first, he refused. Then one day, after much persuasion, he reluctantly agreed. But there was a condition. He would not date anyone who knew he was rich. Too many people saw only his wealth. Too many admired his bank account instead of his character. He wanted someone who could love him and his daughters for who they truly were. That was why, on this beautiful Saturday morning, he was preparing for a blind date. His assistant had arranged a meeting with a woman named Talia Mercer. According to mutual acquaintances, she was kind, hardworking, and remarkably genuine. Still, Grayson remained skeptical. He decided to conduct a simple test. Instead of arriving in an expensive suit and luxury vehicle, he borrowed an old pickup truck from a company employee. He wore faded jeans and a simple shirt. To everyone who saw him, he appeared to be an ordinary single father struggling to make ends meet. The twins found the entire situation amusing. They loved the adventure. Especially because they had been allowed to help choose the cafe where the meeting would take place. As they approached the restaurant, Avery pointed toward a woman sitting alone near the outdoor patio. Something about her immediately stood out. She wore simple clothing and carried a worn handbag. Yet there was a quiet confidence in the way she sat. She seemed completely comfortable being herself. Then something unexpected happened. An elderly homeless man approached the cafe and sat on a nearby bench. Most people barely noticed him. Others avoided eye contact. Talia quietly opened her lunch container. Without hesitation, she walked over and offered half her meal to the stranger. The old man's eyes filled with gratitude. She smiled warmly and returned to her seat. No cameras. No audience. No attempt to impress anyone. Just kindness. Grayson watched silently. For the first time that morning, his carefully built walls began to crack. Inside the cafe, the meeting started naturally. The twins instantly liked Talia. She treated them as if they were the most important people in the room. Many adults spoke to children politely. Few genuinely listened. Talia listened. When Alara described her dream of becoming a marine biologist, Talia asked thoughtful questions. When Avery proudly showed drawings from school, Talia admired each one carefully. There was no pretending. No forced enthusiasm. Just genuine interest. As the hours passed, Grayson found himself relaxing. For the first time in years, he laughed freely. He spoke about parenthood, life, and loss. Talia shared her own experiences. Several years earlier, she had lost both parents within months of each other. The experience had forced her to mature quickly. She worked as a pediatric occupational therapist, helping children overcome developmental challenges. The job didn't pay extraordinarily well. But she loved it deeply. Throughout the conversation, she never once asked about Grayson's income. Never questioned his career. Never seemed interested in material things. Instead, she focused on what truly mattered. Family. Purpose. Character. By the end of the afternoon, even Grayson was surprised by how much he enjoyed her company. But fate wasn't finished testing them. A sudden rainstorm rolled into the city. Dark clouds gathered overhead. People rushed for shelter. As Grayson prepared to leave, he noticed a mother struggling to push a broken stroller through the rain while carrying groceries. Without hesitation, Talia ran toward her. She helped gather fallen bags. Then she used her own money to purchase a replacement umbrella from a nearby store. The grateful mother nearly cried. Again, Talia expected nothing in return. The twins witnessed everything. That evening, as they drove home, Avery spoke softly from the back seat. She said Talia reminded her of the stories their mother used to tell. Stories about helping people even when nobody was watching. The words hit Grayson harder than he expected. For the first time since Serena's death, he felt a flicker of hope. Over the following weeks, they spent more time together. Picnics in the park. Weekend museum visits. Afternoons at the beach. Each encounter revealed more about Talia's character. One day, Grayson secretly visited the children's rehabilitation center where she worked. What he saw moved him deeply. Children ran toward her with excitement. Parents greeted her with gratitude. Colleagues respected her. Many of the families she helped struggled financially. Talia often purchased therapy supplies with her own money. She stayed late without complaint. She celebrated every small victory. She mourned every setback. Her compassion was real. And it was changing him. Yet one secret remained. She still believed he was an ordinary man. The longer he waited, the heavier the deception became. Eventually, circumstances forced the truth into the open. One afternoon, Talia arrived unexpectedly at a charity event. The event happened to be sponsored by Hale Innovations. As she entered the grand ballroom, enormous banners displayed Grayson's photograph. Executives rushed over to greet him. Investors surrounded him. Reporters requested interviews. Talia stood frozen. Confusion filled her eyes. The man she thought she knew was one of the wealthiest business leaders in the region. That evening, she left without speaking much. For several days, she ignored his calls. Ignored his messages. Ignored his emails. Grayson feared he had ruined everything. Not because she discovered he was rich. But because he had betrayed her trust. Finally, she agreed to meet him. They sat together beneath a large oak tree in a quiet park. For the first time since they met, Grayson had no carefully prepared explanations. No business strategies. No polished presentations. Only honesty. He admitted his fears. His loneliness. His grief. His desire to protect his daughters from people motivated by money. Most importantly, he apologized. Talia listened quietly. Then she revealed her own disappointment. It wasn't the wealth that hurt her. It was the lack of trust. Yet she also understood why he had done it. The pain in his eyes was impossible to fake. The months that followed became a journey of rebuilding trust. Slowly, carefully, they learned to be vulnerable with each other. They shared fears. dreams, memories, and eventually, love. But the greatest surprise came from the twins. One evening, after a family dinner, Avery and Alara handed Talia a handmade card. Inside were hundreds of colorful drawings. Family vacations, birthday parties, beach walks, holiday celebrations. And in every picture, Talia stood beside them. At the bottom of the final page, written in uneven handwriting, were words that brought tears to everyone's eyes. They had written that families are not built by money or blood alone. Families are built by people who choose to stay. Years later, when people asked Grayson about the best investment he ever made, they expected him to mention a company acquisition or business venture. Instead, he always smiled and remembered a rainy afternoon. A woman sharing her lunch with a stranger. A simple act of kindness that revealed more about her character than any resume, title, or bank account ever could. Because that day, he learned a lesson worth far more than millions. True wealth is found in the hearts of people who give without expecting anything in return. And sometimes, the person who changes your life forever appears when you least expect it. Before we reach the end of this story, we have a special request. Please comment. Kindness changes everything. If you believe even one small act of compassion can transform someone's life. And if this story touched your heart, inspired you, or reminded you of the importance of genuine love and kindness, please like, comment, and share this video with your friends and family. Your support helps Lifeline Corner continue bringing meaningful stories to viewers around the world. As the sun set over Cedar Ridge that evening, Grayson watched his daughters laughing beside Talia in the backyard. The golden light painted the sky in shades of hope, and for the first time in many years, he felt complete. Not because he was wealthy. Not because he was successful. But because he had finally found someone whose heart was richer than any fortune he could ever earn. And in that quiet moment, surrounded by love, laughter, and second chances, he realized that the greatest blessing in life is not finding someone perfect. It is finding someone genuine. Someone kind. Someone who chooses your heart long before they ever discover your wealth. And that made all the difference.